is the Cover 3 Tailgate. And welcome back to the Cover 3 podcast here on CBS Sports. That's Tom Fornelli. That's Danny Kanell. That's Bud Elliott. I'm Chip Patterson coming to you live at youtube.com/Cover3 and everywhere you get to a podcast on demand. Thanks for hanging out. Smash that subscribe, smash that like, and come and join us in the chat, a.k.a. the Cover 3 Tailgate. We're at 9:20 a.m. Our friend Nathan jumped in and said, you guys ever thought about getting Taylor Swift on the podcast? Tom, I know you extended an invitation officially. Have we heard back from Tay-Tay yet?
No, Travis was there, so she didn't want to respond.
It's okay. We'll wait for the Chiefs away games, and then we'll see if those communications end up opening up moving forward.
On the Taylor Swift discussion topic, what is it about Taylor Swift that turns millennials into 5-year-olds?
I mean, there's women, right?
Yeah.
No, dudes too. My timeline yesterday was just
dudes from our audience.
Dudes, period. On
dudes.
My timeline, just people like, oh my God, Taylor Swift said the name of a football player. Oh my God, she is my queen. It's like,
I mean, there have been allegations.
A whole lot of that in our golf group chat, but Twitter is different.
No, listen, like there are allegations of witchcraft. Okay. I don't want any of that. Okay. I don't want no juju. I don't want no bad energy. But it could be that, Tom. I'm just going to say it could be actual witchcraft and sorcery that we're dealing with.
It's like boy bands, but we're, adults now, folks.
Have you ever thought that, the conspiracy theories that are being weaved around a musical artist are less harmful than the conspiracy theories that are available on the internet elsewhere?
Possibly.
And if you're going to seek out a conspiracy theory, at least this maybe is a little bit. Anyway,
so you're saying it's the Illuminati? Is that what you're saying, Chip?
I don't know. I've told you I don't want any of that. My focus is ahead. My focus is on the college football season that is knocking on the door. Lots to get to here. We've got Camp Buzz that we need to hit. I hope you enjoyed our SEC win totals from earlier in the week. We did part 1 on Monday, part 2 on Wednesday. Big Ten win totals will be in our focus next week. And then on Thursday, our first locks of the season. That first one will be our win totals locks, our very best bets, and a chance to hit Notre Dame and some group of 5 schools or group of 6. What are we calling them? Group of 6? I think we got to put respect on the Pac-12's name because they're going to be coming and they're going to have a good conference. So let's just say group of 6. Is that fair?
Works for me.
Okay. I mean, I wrote group of 5 in something the other day, and one of our editors changed it to group of 6. So
there's an editorial style ruling if I've ever heard one. We have here some questions from you, the audience, some of them in the tailgate, some of them from the big old bag of mail. But as we promised all week, we have got to get started with a little bit of buzzing. Players that are making a buzz. Camp Buzz. Camp Buzz. Camp Buzz. Talking about players that are buzzing.
We got a lot.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got a
lot more coming too. We got some serious buy-in from the 24/7 Sports Network. So I was really excited about the response this morning when I socialized the concept. So much like the proposed playoff ideas are socialized at meetings, I've been socializing the concept of let's juice this bad boy up with a little bit more 24/7 Sports intel. And I have it organized by conference. So where do you want to start?
I want to start at Notre Dame. That feels like a discussion unto itself. And obviously with Notre Dame's proud independence, then they probably do not want to be grouped in with their half siblings in the ACC or anywhere else.
Agreed, because GPT actually organizes them with the Big Ten. So that's interesting.
Bud GPT added again. How many M dashes are going to be in this soliloquy coming from Bud? All right. So what are we doing with Notre Dame? We got CJ Carr, we got Kenny Minchey. We've got a battle that is not decided, while many have been decided in recent weeks.
I thought you wanted to talk about how Notre Dame feels good about the tight ends.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So did speak to a source over there, and Carr has not been bad. He has not pulled away as of yet. Minchey has been a little bit better than I think they expected, and Minchey does. Not that Carr is immobile, but Minchey fits a little bit better what Mike Denbrock has traditionally had a lot of success with, and that is that quarterback mobility. That's why on this show all summer we've thought Minchey would probably have some sort of role in red zone packages, kind of like we speculated with Kindholz there at Ohio State, right? Since he's a much better runner than Julian Sayin is for the Buckeyes. So this ain't done. I don't think this is a situation where I'm super worried. I actually think that they have consistently messaged that they like Minchey. I think that they expected Carr to win the job. I think they paid Carr like they expected him to win the job. But like they clearly had to pay Minchey something to keep him around. And I do think they like him. So personally, like I'm not that worried. From a betting perspective, this matters in week one. If it's Minchey, I think it's a higher run rate. So you know what to do there. But I'm not super worried about this. I still think that Notre Dame has an excellent chance to make the playoff if it is Minchey. And I guess we'll just see how it plays out. But like I think they have two reasonably good options.
What we think?
A lot of camp left still, by the way.
I think they're going to make a decision on Sunday. I'm bracing for Sunday's media availability with Marcus Freeman and Mike Denbrock to include, if not an announcement, at least a little bit of clarity on what's happening moving forward. I think it is the worst possible schedule for a first-time starting quarterback to go up against Miami and Texas A&M as your first two games. Wouldn't you love to have Western Michigan be that first game? You know, wouldn't you love to be able to break this in? It has been, based on my sort of loose tracking of this, it's been probably more than a decade since Notre Dame's gone into a season with a game one starter with this little experience. Kenny Minchey has basically gone to kneel out games or score a rushing touchdown against Purdue. CJ Carr came and handed the ball off against Purdue. I mean, the lack of live fire, live action that they have for both of these quarterbacks is a huge unknown against a Miami defensive front, at the least, that is really, really good. Obviously, our questions might be secondary coordinator change, but Texas A&M's defense is tremendous. And Notre Dame's offensive line is awesome, and I know they're really excited about how their wide receivers have continued to get better. They've got one of the deepest running back rooms and one of the best running backs in the country. But I don't know if any announcement would have made me not concerned, but I'm concerned. I think it's a huge pivot point for the start of Notre Dame's season.
There's so many different things that be factoring into this. Like, either A, Carr is not performing as well as they would like. B, Minchey's performing much better than they expected. Or it's also possible Carr is going to be your starter, but by not naming the starter, they're making sure Minchey keeps his head in the race and keeps him going prepared. Because again, Carr is a guy who has never started a game, and you're starting with Miami on the road. So you have to keep your backup ready to roll, because there's a very good chance you're going to need him in that game, regardless of it just being a secondary package. So I don't know. I'm not overly concerned about it. I think that as a fan, it would probably ease some of your anxiety to know who the guy is, to feel like it was already settled. But I don't necessarily know in this case if it's a bad thing. I do wonder, though. I mean, they've had, if you look at the success they had last year with Riley Leonard, who was not a great passing quarterback, but brought a lot to the run game, if maybe they still feel more comfortable with that because of Minchey's ability as a dual threat, and they feel like maybe they still need to lean into that a bit.
He had 900 yards rushing. Riley Leonard did 17 touchdowns. He was huge. I think you're onto something, Tom. I wonder if it's more And if CJ Carr isn't like clearly separating as a better passer, better manager of the game, like just flashing as, okay, this is our guy, I do wonder if that's what's coming into play. I'll take you guys all the way back. I mentioned on here, I think it was April, maybe even March, when I said Jerome Bettis. Jerome Bettis, I was talking to him, the bus. Remember I told you guys, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Just, CJ Carr stepping in. And he was like, whoa, he's like, the players are talking about Kenny Minchie. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. They're like, he keeps popping. And then CJ Carr played better in the spring game. And I was like, oh, that was kind of foolish. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one where you see both of them play early and you kind of figure out throughout the course of the season. They don't have the luxury, though, as you guys mentioned, with that start to the schedule, but it does get very manageable after that. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see both of them in the first couple games, even though they're tough games, because I think they both might struggle, and so you kind of, you flip them around, try the other guy, and then it kind of clears itself up when that schedule eases up.
But the rest of the roster is still absolutely worthy of being a top 5, caliber. And obviously, they're inside the top 10 right now, but they are good enough to do everything that they did last year. I didn't mean to cut you off about tight ends. Was there other Notre Dame buzz that you?
No, just heard they're cool with the tight ends. So, all right. Let's go to the Big Ten, a conference that doesn't always get a lot of love from other shows. So, Tom spoke to Jeremy over at Illini Inquirer, and mostly good news, buddy. Sounds like. So, on the negative side, they've been kind of banged up on the offensive line in camp. So that ain't great. JT Davis missed like 2 weeks with was it plantar fasciitis? I think it was.
Yeah.
But buy stock in Melvin Priestley, dominant on the offensive line, likely a top pick at NFL guard. So liking that, and the offensive linemen are all working their way back in. I'm going to defer to you on this. So Jeremy said receiver room's deeper than ever. Colin Dixon, Hank Beatty, Malik Elzy, Hudson Clement, obviously West Virginia transfer there, Justin Bowick, Capka Jones, Trimble. Where do we fall? Because like my thing is usually like, if you give me 7 names, you have 0. Like, how worried are we about like the 3rd and 7? Who's the ball actually going to with Illinois?
Yeah, I think that's a legitimate concern. I do think that both things are true. I would argue that Jeremy is 100% correct. Talent-wise, it's deeper than I can remember an Illinois receiver room being in a very long time. But you still want somebody to emerge as the guy. Like you want, like last year, Pat Bryant and Zachary Franklin dominated all the targets. They're both gone. Maybe you don't necessarily need them hogging up that same target share, but you still need somebody to step forward as the guy who is the one you're turning to. And I think we're not going to find that out until the games actually start. And if they don't find one, that could be a problem for them down the season.
Tight ends are looking nasty. So if you thought Illinois was pounding people last year, probably more pounding them this year. Interesting, by the way, McCray is like not mentioned among the likely starters at Georgia, which we'll get to in a minute. So their back who transferred out, I don't know. Not necessarily negative for Georgia, by the way. We will see other things here. Illinois defense trending up. This is going to really hurt for Wisconsin fans. So you remember James Thompson, who tore his pec preseason last year for Wisconsin, and we were like, oh shit, this is a really bad deal for the Badgers. He's back and looking awesome, and is, according to Jeremy, potentially the best defensive lineman that they have had under Bielema outside of Johnny Newton.
Right.
So hello, and Curtis Neal is looking like he's going to win the starting nose guard jobs, which is, from my reading on this and looking back at my notes, the guy they wanted to win. So I do like when it's like, all right, here's the guy we need to win the job, step up and win it, and it appears that he's doing that. So that is that's solid. Michigan State tight end Jack Veiling has not practiced yet due to a foot, but they expect him to be back fairly soon. So that's good. Boston, the receiver at Washington, had an offseason procedure, and I was monitoring this one pretty closely because I'm fairly high on Washington this year. But
and Boston, that's one of the better.
Like if they don't have him, I'm not high on Washington anymore. And it appears he is scheduled to be back to practice today. So today's kind of the day we will be monitoring. Maybe some reports come out over the weekend, but eyes on Washington as we look for Boston. So Boston and Washington, Notre Dame, all right, GPT, we already talked about them. They're not in the Big Ten. So that's most of what I have for the Big Ten today. ACC. Now, the Twitter search feature is not working for me right now. And I switched to Nolecast account as well. It's not working on there. So I'm trying to, I don't know if you guys have seen anything new on JoJo Trader out of the ACC. But last thing we saw, he was reported he was seen around campus in a boot. And I haven't seen anything else about that. And that's a fairly big deal because they opened with Notre Dame. And some of the guys getting hyped out of Miami, I can get with. Like the Malachi Toney praise as a true freshman has been consistent, and I think that makes a lot of sense. But like the Josh Moore praise, I think is a long-term thing I totally agree with because the kid is pretty freaky, but I don't know that I agree that Josh Moore is ready to run routes and get open right now as a true freshman, just because honestly, like last year at some of these camps, it was very hit or miss his ability to actually run routes. So that's a lot of improvement you need to make in a year if they're going to lean on him. Some positive reports out of Miami camp about the BYU kid, the transfer that they got. But
Marion?
Yes, Marion. But when I spoke to some guys at Miami over the summer, they're like, they need Trader to step up and be the guy. And I haven't seen anything positive that he's back practicing at all. So they have I had this on it. They have a scrimmage this weekend. So we will see if we hear anything about JoJo Trader. We kind of need JoJo Trader to be on the field, I think, for Miami, for me to have confidence in this passing game.
No. I've got all the confidence in the world. They gave Carson Beck number 11. We are channeling the spirit of Ken Dorsey. We are finding all of the vibes that we possibly can to be able to get to where we need to get as a program for the U, and giving Carson Beck number 11. That's how we bring things back right now. He can make it happen because clearly, as we all remember, it was Ken Dorsey and a bunch of scrubs out there for that offense, right? He didn't have any future Hall of Fame skill players around him at all, right?
No, definitely not. No Andre Johnson, no Reggie Wayne. None of those guys caught balls. But 305 Shaman in the chat says JoJo will be good. So,
well, he is a shaman.
Right. He is the shaman. That's why I mentioned. I'm not going to mention random tailgate members. Well, sometimes we might, but if he's a shaman, I think how do you not go with that?
I did talk to Joe Zagacki, voice of the Canes, yesterday. He sounded pretty bullish on JoJo as well. He sounded like, hey, he thinks he could have, because it was a big question was who's going to step up? And he had Trader up there as one of the top choices. So
that's a fairly important thing for fantasy too. I know a lot of these guys play college fantasy, including me. I'm I'd like to know who's going to catch passes for the Canes. Not that there's going to be a million of them caught in that opener against the Irish, but still.
What's Bud GPT Buzz saying about the Syracuse quarterback battle?
I have not checked on that one today, but I can.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got it as Ricky Collins or Steve Angeli, and I have no idea who's going to end up winning that one. Angeli, of course, a late arrival coming through in the spring portal. Ricky Collins was named the starter, and now you take Steve Angeli. So what does that mean? It's the ACC is the league, whether it's I'm not really sure. I guess it's Devin Brown at Cal. Maybe.
No.
Oh, it's not.
I've actually heard that Devin Brown has not looked good at all, and they're going to roll with the freshman.
Okay. We did. That'd be Jaron Kiwe Sagapatulale.
The only guy who I think pronounced
you said it, Chip.
JKS.
So Brandon Huffman can actually pronounce it correctly.
Because he was a top West Coast prospect.
Yes, correct. And Huff owns the West Coast.
Yeah, we found out the former Oregon State quarterback, Ben Goldbrinson, is the starter at Stanford. That was named this week. Okay.
I'm going to give this a shot. Jaron Kiawe Sagapolutele.
Yeah.
He's good.
I think that's pretty close, actually. Yeah.
I mean,
we're going to go with that.
I'm half Samoan. So.
We have an update from the dentist.
I was always instructed from the SIDs at BYU and Utah, whenever you took your chart over and it was a ton of Samoan vowels. Names, you say the vowels. They were just say them all.
What do they say? Sing it if you know it, hum it if you don't. Shoot.
Hey, Virginia's probably Chandler Morris, or definitely Chandler Morris.
If it's not Chandler Morris, that I got to make some big adjustments.
Okay.
I would be shocked if he's not Chandler Morris. I saw Jackie Franchuli of Wahoo's 247 report Cam Robinson, their stud linebacker, is a guy that's it's an injury situation worth monitoring. So I don't because Jackie runs a great site. I don't like every time I click over to her board, it's here's another injury situation worth monitoring. I'm like, I'm tired of monitoring. I want UVA to like get healthy. Like let's, the dentist texted back. Where are you on Ole Miss and this win total? Not overly confident, but I think 9 wins. So he's over slightly. But 3 losses from UGA, LSU, and the standard WTF loss from South Carolina, Florida, or Oklahoma. Do we think that Ole Miss is at a point where we can classify Florida with Lagway as a WTF loss?
No. I don't even think you can include Oklahoma as a WTF loss or South Carolina as a WTF loss.
In the long arc of college ball history, I mean, how many years do we think Ole Miss can classify Florida as a WTF loss? Like 4 or 5, maybe?
I think it's a hell of a troll by the dentist.
It's like, by the way, those teams might have 3 first-rounders, like quarterback, bro. But he said 8.5 is a great line. I might take under and hope I'm wrong. So we did not call him while he was actually, working on somebody's mouth.
The dentist is on his gas today.
Oh,
all right, Bud, where else are we buzzing?
Well, let me see. Hit that. TCU is feeling pretty damn good at receiver, Eric McAllister, but also they like some of their young guys. So that's interesting. Chip, I saw something, and now I don't know where I wrote it down, which is not great. UNC's center's out for a bit.
The guy from Holy Cross?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's anything that changes the season-long projection, but as much as everybody made fun of, oh, look, Bill Belichick's first transfer portal signee is a guy from Holy Cross. What's he going to do next? Grab a lacrosse player? Fair, totally fair jokes, but he's a big dude and a pretty good player, so not great.
All right, so let's see here. That's not it. Let's go to the SEC. So there's a video of Lagway throwing to receivers, not an 11-on-11. I haven't seen any 7-on, but he's at least out there throwing some passes. So we like that. And he doesn't appear to be hobbled. So I would assume he's kind of on the timeline to return on time. Like, it's me speculating, but I'm hoping so because I like watching that kid play a lot. All right, now, Georgia, Dogs 247, which does a great job. Always enjoy having those guys on summer school. Running backs. So we know that Georgia internally feels they have absolutely hit at receiver and like they are like reloaded. So apparently running back is looking pretty damn good too. And this is interesting because they went out and they paid McCray in the portal, right? And yet like Nate Frazier's like, hey, what about me? I'm going to make progress from freshman to sophomore year. Redshirt freshman Chauncey Bowens is looking pretty good. Roderick Robinson has apparently bounced all the way back from the ankle injury. And so I think like when you combine, it's like, all right, we kind of have a baseline for what McCray is as a player. Like, he may not be the best player in the world, but he doesn't suck. And I know he's been hampered with some injury stuff, but like if he's not like in real serious contention to be the starter, Georgia feels pretty good, according to my guys at Dogs 247, about their running back depth, which was not the case last year for sure, especially when Frazier started dropping the ball all the time. So they feel great about receiver. They feel much better about running back. And here's one that I know our guys at 24/7 Sports will be happy because they went out on a limb to give this guy a 5-star, and when the rest of the industry had him, a lot lower. But true freshman offensive lineman Juan Gaston, who was 6'7", 365 in high school, has dropped 30 pounds and is seriously pushing for one of the guard jobs as a true freshman at Georgia, and basically said it's going to be hard to keep this guy off the field for too long. So that's I think that's probably pretty encouraging for Georgia, assuming that means he's hitting and not that the other two guys fighting for the job aren't it. And finally, we need to hit on this. LSU, Nussmeier returned to practice. So that's a good sign.
Sigh of relief.
Yeah, exactly.
Big 12?
I had TCU for the Big 12 today.
All right.
I'm going to have to start texting this out earlier for our West Coast and Mountain Time Zone guys. Because, if I'm hitting them at 8 Eastern, it's 6 a.m. there.
Yeah, that's true. By the way,
Not me.
that'd be Blaskey, the one who's hurt.
Okay.
Austin Blaskey, 6th-year player. But yeah, he's his injury not great, but that's that would be the player who got hurt, not the transfer portal addition from Holy Cross. Blaskey's been around for a while.
Is Retzlaff going to take the Tulane starting job? The chat wants to know. I would be shocked if he did not. But I think that there's probably a little bit of like.
I mean, do you want to get sicko?
He got there kind of late.
Like office politics, I think, is probably a thing too, right? I think if he gets there, signs as a walk-on, and you're like, "Hey, starter," boom, it might piss off the rest of the room somewhat. So you might want to like make the kid earn it. Although on talent, he's going to earn it for a couple weeks.
Okay, listen, if you want to get sicko, forget Retzlaff. Let's go to Retzlaff's replacement. You guys realize Bear Bachmeier might win this job?
Mm-hmm.
Beating out. Do you know who the other guy competing for it is?
McKay Hillstead?
Yeah, of Utah State fame.
Yeah. I mean, that's a quarterback battle if I've ever seen one. Because I don't know about you guys, but I've done a lot of it's BYU. Like just sort of floating them along in terms of my general expectations. But
if that's a quarterback battle, what weapons are they fighting each other with?
I mean, he's
like squirt guns, broomsticks. Like what are we, like? It's not exactly grenade launchers.
We need Bear Bachmeier to win that job because Tiger Bachmeier is at receiver for the Cougs. And what I need to know is, how do you have a Bear Bachmeier, a Tiger Bachmeier, and then a Hank?
And a Hank, because isn't Hank the oldest?
Yeah, it's got to be a family name. They got to like ode to somebody in the family, and then you can go off the rails.
You can't start with Hank and then go to animals. Like you either have to name them all after animals or only one.
The firstborn is kept sacred. Then the rest of them are just little animals. Hank. Well, Hank's. I don't know Hank's legal name right now, but I'm sure it's just as inventive as any of the others. All right, what else do we have? Is Malik Washington starting at Maryland?
I'm still waiting to hear on that one. We do have this Auburn play calling thing.
Yes. Oh, this is so good. I'm so glad you brought this to my attention because when
it's interesting. Did you guys check this out?
Okay.
Oh, they're gonna have different coaches calling every down.
Yeah.
I saw Lane Kiffin tweet about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it really good.
All right. So media spoke with Derek Nix and Kent Austin, who are coaches on the Auburn staff.
And Derek Nix left the Ole Miss staff to go to the Auburn staff, which is why it's in the Lane Kiffin troll target right now.
Correct. So can we play my billable hours music? Because I think that's what we got going on here.
Do we have billable hours loaded up, please? I've got Bud versus Mute button. I've got Gladiator 2, Transfer Portal.
Go get a sport coat real quick if you want me to.
Okay, Tom's got us covered.
All right. So I will say, like, even at face value, this is like crazy, but not insane crazy in some ways, because we do know some of these tempo coaches will have a guy or two in the box, like working ahead.
Oh, sure.
And they'll just ask coach, like, hey, you want this or this? Right. And he'll go like the coach is the ultimate decision maker. He'll stamp it. But in order to work ahead, like, they don't want the guy's head buried in the play sheet or the iPad. They want him, looking out on the field and, have his trusted guys in the box in his ear. Derek Nix handles first down strategy / play calling. Austin handles third down strategy / play calling. And then Hugh Freeze has the authority to overrule anything we say or do. And then Hugh Freeze will call plays on second downs.
So Derek Nix first down, Hugh Freeze second down, and Austin takes third.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you remove limits on coaching staffs.
No, but hold on. When you said billable hours, is this because things like promises were made in order to?
No, I think some of these contracts, the way they are written, is like you don't have to pay an assistant coach buyout if the guy is leaving for a promotion, which includes a description of like play caller. So we've seen this before where like guys will say, hey, now you're like the associate head coach of administrative defense or whatever, because it's technically, some kind of associate head coach title, which in your former school's contract was defined as a promotion. So you have to, I don't know that I truly believe that this is how Auburn is going to run things.
But if it is, listen, great
It
comment.
might be performative so they can say, here's how it was being done.
I hope that's what it is, because I have never, and we've talked a lot about play calling, and I've told you guys, we've seen collaborative efforts. We've seen coaches work through it together. We've seen some of the hierarchy. I have never heard of something like this. And I cannot, and that was a great comment though. Imagine three voices and a quarterback, Jackson Arnold, who's struggling with his confidence.
Jackson Arnold, a quarterback with known,
But see, that's where I do think Bud makes a great point. I wonder if this is semantics to show publicly so that you can take care of guys and their contract and get them paid accordingly. I cannot imagine if it is, this is going to be a disaster. I'll just say
also, even if it is, why on earth would you come out and say it with this level of specificity if it was not specifically to satisfy contractual language from the Ole Miss deal? Wouldn't you just we know how we'll handle it and we'll let y'all figure that on game day?
Listen,
there's no reason to come out and say it with this level of detail.
You are just you've got way too much rationale, Bud, for the Auburn football program and its kind of DNA here. Because when you just think of it in that context, I'm like, well, yeah. We've got an Auburn football coach going into a hot seat year with a whole bunch of changes and expectations. Of course, it's going to be a little messy, right?
Didn't we see this with Bielema and the Patriots?
Well, I was going to actually mention Bryce Young.
He's not actually coaching, so Arkansas has to keep paying his buyout.
Yeah, because he was an analyst or whatever they would call it in the NFL.
But Danny, do you remember Bryce Young with the Panthers, year one of that? They said it was like a collaborative effort. They had all these different coaches. There was Thomas Brown and Jim Caldwell and Frank Reich. And I think our own Jonathan Jones came out with the report that they're getting really concerned that he's literally hearing too many voices in his head and couldn't put it all together.
How'd that work?
Exactly.
All right. This is the other thing I'm surprised that this goes public is because it looks like a fiasco already because it's never been done. It looks weird. It seems nonsensical. And if you're already on the hot seat, if you're already facing all this pressure, why would you want to put this out? Because what's going to happen. If they lose against Baylor, it's going to become an even bigger deal. And if you're 3-3 or whatever the record is, it's going to be an even bigger deal. Look at what a joke this was. There's a lot of red flags coming out of Auburn this offseason.
If you put it out now and you lose to Baylor, then you can demote your third down coach. He's no longer calling plays on third downs. I'm Hugh Freeze. I'm taking over third downs.
See, Gus Malzahn is proud of that. Remember how many times Gus Malzahn gave play calling duties and then took them back from an offensive coordinator?
It's ingenious because Auburn fans are bloodthirsty. So this way, every single week, Hugh can throw a coach to the fans and keep the heat off of himself. This man is playing chess. All right.
But I need
Brandon in the chat actually nailed this. This is the more recent college example. So Joe Wickline went from was he at Baylor or went to Texas? He doesn't have a Wikipedia page, but
I don't remember.
Here, I'll find it if Texas hasn't pulled his bio. Okay, so Wickline was with Charlie Strong at UF. Okay, all right, they're reverse chronological. Okay. So he went from Oklahoma. He went from Oklahoma State to Texas, and Oklahoma State was pissed. They were like, he's calling plays, really?" And they're like, "Yep, he's calling the plays." And he's an offensive coordinator. So this does happen.
To your point, I just Googled it. September 24th, 2015. The legal battle of Oklahoma State versus Texas offensive coordinator Joe Wickline used to center around a compelling question: Is Wickline actually Texas's offensive play caller? So this, to your point, this has gone before, and I think this got to be for contract stuff.
Hey,
this cannot be a strategy. This cannot be.
I want it as a strategy. I want Saturday night instant reaction shows to have success rate analysis for first, second, and third down, so we can specifically blame the play caller per down for offensive successes and failures for Auburn.
Yeah,
okay,
I don't want to give any of these people credit.
No, absolutely
I want
not.
them to be dummies doing dumb things.
Fun and entertaining. Good for Saturdays. Yeah, and of course for Friday specifically for Auburn as they will open up against Baylor. All right, we've run kind of all over the country. We haven't even gotten into any mailbag questions yet. Is there anything else burning? Anything else buzzing from fall camp?
I mean, there's a starting SEC quarterback in the chat that I like because Twitter search is down. I haven't been able to verify like at all who they said got hurt, so I'm not going to touch that on the air.
Starting SEC quarterback?
Yeah, there's rumors of a quarterback getting hurt in practice.
Yeah.
We did have somebody ask in the chat about Hussey being dismissed from Florida State, which
I'm shocked he was on the team this year.
Right. That's why I think this is probably a good thing for Florida State.
Tony White kind of called some dudes out. I mean, well, not by name, but he was running second or third team. Now that's not good that they're not converting a guy of his physical talent into a starter, but I think I take issue with some of their developmental stuff more with other guys like Hussey. I think like some of that you have to like actually get with the program a little bit, dude.
Yep. Understandable. All right. Coming up on the other side, we turn our attention to some of your questions and our answers and more. Next.
Name's Conrad Harrigan, family man. And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
Mobland, new series streaming March 30th on Paramount Plus.
Back here on the Cover 3 podcast, we do enjoy always getting a chance to hear from you, the audience. Got a lot of Camp Buzz that we had to get through, but of course, we still want to hear from you. So let's dive into the big old bag of mail with a question from Zach. Lots of hot seat talk this summer, but who are the coaches that are going to get a shot at these blue blood jobs if they meet or exceed expectations in 2025? If Kenny Dillingham, Arizona State, hits his win total, does the SEC or Big Ten come calling? Does Manny Diaz get another shot at the big leagues? Fran Brown, maybe a target to head back to the SEC. Again, these are all Zach's suggestions, but a topic that I did think is one we haven't really hit on. Okay, we've got big dominoes that could fall, whether you are talking about an Auburn, an Oklahoma, a Florida, if things go south at LSU. I mean, we've talked about sort of the SEC Armageddon. Arkansas could be open as well. And those jobs being filled could open up other dominoes that could end up having an impact. Who are the coaches on the rise? Who are the coaching candidates? Who are the ones that could be set for a little bit of a glow up if it is a chaotic coaching carousel?
Bud, what are your thoughts?
Chair's empty right now.
Not watching. Yeah, Bud's not there.
Not watching.
I think the number one with a bullet name's got to be John Gruden.
Woo-hoo! Yeah.
In all seriousness, I think one of the names. Who was it that asked the question?
Zach.
I think Zach nailed one of them. I think if Syracuse has a 7-win season or an 8-win season, I think Fran Brown will be a very hot name on the coaching market this offseason, especially with the possibility of some SEC schools coming open. He mentioned Kenny Dillingham. You never know, but I think Kenny's at Arizona State. I think that's just where he wants to be, and it's where he's going to stay.
I think they need to pony up. I've heard that guy. Well, yeah. I've heard that guy mention indoor facility no less than 3 times as like offhanded comments to the media scrums. And that's like you boys better pony up type call. I think I could see him, even though it's his alma mater, even though he loves that place. If someone comes calling, I could see him really testing how much Arizona State wants to keep him.
I think that's just negotiating. I don't think he wants to leave Arizona State.
He feels to me like a Matt Campbell at Iowa State. It's such a good fit. He's from there. You can actually, the ceiling I think is higher at Arizona State. I mean, shoot, he even showed it last year. But I think he's pushing for stuff that while he's got some leverage, he can do it. You never say never, but it just feels like it could be somebody that's just happy where he is, building something up. He's going to get fair market value, and that's probably more money than he's getting now. I don't know if he leaves for the bag. I think he might be somebody who's just good where he is.
I mean, do you think, like, if it's a money thing, if you're the Big 12, kind of find a way to pony up there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was
Yeah.
just
You
I
need
was
to
only-
find a way to like keep some of your stars.
Well, we don't need to like just sit there. Dillingham wants the resources too. I mean, he's asking for big investments. He wants shovels in the ground. He wants them to build stuff. He wants facilities upgrades. Like there's a laundry list of things. Like not that crazy than what we talked to Lincoln Riley that he just finished. You know, a couple years of trying to be able to go through and update and modernize some things, both in terms of staffing, but also in terms of actual physical buildings. But who are the other names?
I think there's two names that we haven't mentioned yet that might be at the top of the list. It's Rhett Lashley and John Sumrall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd probably put Rhett Lashley at the top of it just because he's already done it at the ACC. He's already been to the playoffs. I think they're going to be pretty good this year. And I think John Sumrall, everyone's assuming he goes to Kentucky. I don't know if that's done or not, but I think he's going to be a name that's up there.
Let me ask you a
to
question.
Bud, I know what Bud's
think
going to
John
say.
would
Like,
sit tight.
do you want to go there? Right.
I don't think you want to go to Kentucky right now.
Yeah.
Like, I think Kentucky is just cashing checks on the football side and just wants to go back to basketball. Like it's not like they were spending big time in the portal in the offseason. You know, like they got Zach Calzada and not much else. But they're doing pretty well in basketball spending. So I mean, if you're Summerall, do you sit tight on Arkansas or Kentucky?
But if we're talking about the true like chaos dominoes, then other jobs are open. And I think that you might, I mean, you could John Summerall get hired by Florida?
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's some weird parallels there of like, you know,
Sunbelt Billy
younger G5 from Louisiana thing going on.
Yeah.
My question is like, you mentioned Lashley, because Summerall, I think, you know, he's at Tulane. It's a G5 school. A lot of these jobs that'll come open, maybe they're not ideal, maybe he doesn't take them, but they're upgrades on what he has. How many jobs that like seem realistic to come open this offseason do you think are obvious upgrades over what Lashley can do at SMU, where he's already proven he's got an avenue to the playoff every year?
Well, so they get no rev share cut.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like their boosters are stepping up, but their boosters have to step up to the tune of like 20 million. Like it's not like they're stepping up and giving them like, you know, way over the cap money. But like, I bet you SMU spends more on football than Arkansas does. I bet a lot on that actually. So I don't think I would take Arkansas if I'm Lashley. There's obviously hometown ties connections there,
right.
but like,
would you take Auburn?
Yes.
See,
Yeah,
that's
the
I'm thinking
one.
like Auburn, Florida.
Auburn
If
cares
those-
about football. Arkansas says they do. Auburn spins like it. Like they care.
Hey, listen, this is why we need Gruden to be the answer at Arkansas.
God,
People are pushing Gruden as like getting a college job. It could be interesting.
he would die for an SEC job.
Yeah.
Like, did he say that?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he put that out there, and timing was very purposeful. I think he knew it was going to go viral. I think he does want to get back in. He also had the big win against the NFL where I think he's probably going to settle that because I don't think the NFL wants any of that stuff to come out. So it looks better perception-wise. So I think he is back in the mix.
Billable hours with Danny Kanell.
Yeah. Let's go.
What about Jimbo?
Because
He's made it clear too. He's open to coming back. And I think he's somebody who gets forgotten about because of the buyout, because it went off so fast. But man, he was up there as everybody's top 5 coach.
We just talked about SMU joining the ACC, not getting any money from the league. Jimbo got a huge buyout from Texas A&M. What if Jimbo comes back to Tallahassee and says, listen, boys, you don't have to pay me for 2 years. Just buy out Mike. I'll take over. And then in year 3, we'll start working on a salary again.
I think there's some people who would do that, but also you had such a big money advantage at A&M, and like culturally they were a disaster. I don't know. When's the last time Jimbo did anything that would make you think he's still a good coach? 12 years ago? 13?
But at least he'll start recruiting again. High school.
Yeah, but now everybody has NIL.
He was a closer.
No doubt.
On the recruiting trail with big dog prospects.
Like, how much does he want to coach like if you really want to just go coach, there's places that'll hire you. Like there's a place that tried to hire him a long time ago, and it was blocked by the University of Alabama Board of Trustees.
UAB.
Yes.
Actually,
if Dilfer gets axed, this offseason, I could see Jimbo taking UAB.
I actually kind of like this shot call from Corey.
If he really wants to coach.
Ooh. About
he
Jimbo
is from West Virginia,
so you could get Virginia Tech.
What?
I mean,
do you think you could get Virginia Tech?
Yes.
I think Virginia Tech would gladly hire a coach who's won a national title.
Virginia Tech is like 14th in football spending in the ACC. I mean, Whit Babcock came out with all those slides being like, hey, guys, like, if you really want to play the big game, here's what everybody else is doing. Here's what everybody else is spending. And he's presenting it to the Virginia Board of Governors. I mean, if Bill Belichick is what drove up the investment from a university level for the University of North Carolina, Virginia Tech could bring a Jimbo Fisher in to try to use that to, I mean, that will get the people going a little bit more than trying to get a coordinator on the rise or a G5 head coach.
I mean, okay, so but if you're the Hokies, you only do that if he's willing to take a steep discount and they agree to put the money towards players, right?
Right. And
I think Jimbo would be willing to, considering the buyout he got from A&M.
Yeah.
Is Jimmy still his agent? Because like they were hitting up Florida State for raises like every single, like even after like kind of down season.
Hey,
national title at Florida State. He had the leverage.
Yeah. Yesterday's price is not today's price for Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah.
If he's willing to to go real cheap, I could see it.
What about other coaches that are on the rise? Like other guys that could be set. What about the Manny Diaz shout? Do you think he stays at Duke?
Duke's got money.
I know. There's on the Whit Babcock Virginia Tech slides. One of them, it's like unnamed private university number 1, unnamed private university number 2. Like, oh, geez, I wonder which ones those are. Certainly not the ones in South Bend and Durham, right? Just right there near the top of athletic department spending for sure. Yeah, if I was Manny, I'd stay, but I just think
it depends on the job.
Depends on the job.
Yeah. I think he can be pretty selective.
Right. I would agree with that. Any other names you would add to that mix?
I mean, I think Brett Bielema is a coach on the rise. If Kirk Ferentz rides off into the sunset.
Daniel, he's got a non-compete. He's not allowed to leave for another Big Ten school.
Oh, really?
Really. Every Illinois coach that has signed a contract in the last 2 years has a non-compete in their clause where they're not allowed to leave for Big Ten. They're bought in. They're not planning on going anywhere.
Wow.
Now I'm talking football, men's basketball, women's basketball, everything.
I didn't know that. I like that.
I could see Shannon Dawson getting a job if Miami's offense is still pretty damn good.
It's a good shout. I like that.
I don't know him, never met him, but like I think he kind of fits the profile. Like if they have that much turnover and he's still good, like that's a guy I think who could.
I mean, it also fits are you a offensive coordinator with a lot of success that people think can go and score touchdowns, sell tickets, shoot the fireworks off?
That's
Georgia
a great.
fans want to say Mike Bobo here, of course.
Yeah, Mike Bobo.
That's Bryce Bluma in our chat asked a great question. Where does Texas Tech go if they underperform? Because I do think that is a hot seat type of situation where if they even go 8-4, I think there's gonna be some pressure on Joey McGuire. Now, do they pull the plug on him? Say, all right, we've got this money. We want to win sooner. I think that's a great question, though, because I don't think it's that crazy. Because I do think they're antsy and they've been paying all the money on the players. Maybe they go out and get the coach they feel could take it home.
There's
Jimbo Fisher.
We had a name for this the other day, and now I'm trying to remember who it was.
What, for Texas Tech?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Now I'm trying to remember who we had.
I mean, Jeff Traylor, but
yeah.
Was it
Gruden? We messed around with Gruden with Texas Tech because he's the name, he's big price tag.
Lincoln Riley out the side door just to go land at alma mater, or Garrett Riley if Clemson has a good season.
Ooh, that's not a bad call.
What about GJ Kinney?
He's also a name that we haven't mentioned that if they meet expectations and have a really good year, I think he'll be up there.
GJ Kinney's a good one. Texas State.
Baker, I think. at LSU. Like
Yeah,
if that defense was really,
coordinator.
really good, do you think Cody Campbell would go G5 Texas? Like, I mean, you already have Joey McGuire.
I think he goes for a home run.
I think they would go.
I think
for
it was a big name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of like you've spent that money getting that transfer portal class, and I feel like if you could get a big name coach, that's kind of like the next step towards solidifying yourself as a real player, which is obviously what their goal is.
I was saying Colton Nicky, like another one. I think it's a good suggestion. If they win and their offense looks good and Drew Aller takes that next step, I think his name will be hot. If you just follow the trends, like the trend's always there. Coordinators on, final four teams.
You would also be just sort of looking at the motivations. This is where I think Jimbo Fisher is probably more realistic. The what are you going to do with your timing? Are you gonna hire the offensive coordinator on a team that is expecting to still be playing into mid to late January? Or with the winter portal as it's currently constructed, do you want to go ahead and hire a coach who's on the ACC network desk and can come get to recruiting right away?
Would you take it if you're Beamer?
Shane Beamer taking what? Texas Tech?
Texas Tech?
Yeah, for the right money.
I mean,
That's
look,
an interesting name.
If Sellers has the year I think that he's going to have, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have another Sellers on deck. Like Duckworth is really like their recruit is really, really raw. Maybe you think there's another level to reach to South Carolina, but like your resources edge at Tech, if their spending continues anywhere close to what it is relative to your league, is much better.
But Clark Lee.
No,
He's not leaving.
He's not leaving.
Anchor down.
What about the Oklahoma OC?
Arbuckle?
Arbuckle.
I mean,
Be quick.
I mean, is he on the
that'd be a
market?
hell of an ascension.
If the whole staff gets fired, he's on the market, right?
Wow, look at that negativity Chip's just throwing out there.
I'm just considering all the factors.
Brent Key.
Yeah, I think that's a name that
At
could.
some point,
But there's also like the connection there for him.
Yeah.
So it's weird. I think what's the odd thing about the coaching market is I don't know if like you could just go for the hot up and coming coordinator model or the, coach at a smaller school anymore, because since so many of these programs now have money to spend, it's like it's a lot more. It's harder to pull entrenched guys unless you are one of the top jobs.
This is actually an interesting one from Nick. What about Dan Mullen if he kills it at UNLV? Texas Tech money whips everybody in recruiting.
Ooh.
He'll just be freed up to call plays and
Dan at Tech would be fun.
I don't hate that. I think he would win there.
Yeah, I do too.
And his whole UNLV team right now is mercenaries.
What about
All he
Drinkwitz?
has to do is go win like 10 games and he would get that job. Then 100%.
What about Drinkwitz?
I would stay in Missouri.
Okay.
I would. All right. We got to hit another break. Coming up on the other side, one other question, particularly relevant after Ashton Genty's season in 2024. I'll explain and more next.
The crowd loves champions. Gladiator 2 is an epic spectacle. To amuse you is my only wish.
The glory is yours, not mine.
Very good. Gladiator 2, rated R, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Back here on the Cover 3 podcast, going back into the big old bag of mail. Steven says, at what point do we separate postseason stats from regular season stats in regard to NCAA records? Last year, Ashton Genty's Heisman campaigners brought up the all-time rushing record. However, postseason games would have been included. Genty would have taken 13 or 14 games to break the record Sanders set in 11 games. Can we just recognize the regular season for all-time leaders? No bowls, no conference championships, and no extended playoff runs. So as I said in the planning doc, I said, where do you stand on postseason stats being added to season totals? This, of course, something that has happened when Sanders was playing for Oklahoma State. The record stopped at the end of the regular season, and then he had a big bowl game that doesn't get added to his total. Now we are adding in all the bowl statistics, and now that you might be playing a 16-game season like both of our national champions did last year, then that's a lot added on. So sort of as a philosophical question, where do you stand on postseason stats being added to your season-long totals?
In 1927, Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs. It was the record then. The Yankees played a 154-game regular season. Baseball plays a 162-game regular season now. The records all, we don't get to say, well, the last 8 games of the season don't count for current MLB players. All the stats.
There was an asterisk on 61 on the movie. Wasn't it right there? Wasn't that the name of the movie, was 61 with an asterisk?
Yeah. That's my point. It's stupid. It is dumb. I understand like the history of it and the records, but like a player breaking Barry Sanders' record should be something to be celebrated. It doesn't change the fact that Barry Sanders was incredible. It just means that we have a new record. And part of the fun in being a sports fan is records being broken. That's what they exist for. So no, I do not think we should go back to it because, hey, also the regular season used to only be 11 games. Now it's 12. Yep. It could be even longer. I remember how dumb it was when we didn't count bowl stats towards regular season stats. Just add the bowl game to Barry Sanders' mark. That's all you have to do. Boom, done.
As somebody who got screwed out of
a record
4 touchdown passes in the Orange Bowl and another couple in the Sugar Bowl, I do think it's dumb that we don't count them because it would be very easy retroactively. We have the records, just add them and total them together. But I do think we're getting to the point where, man, you're playing 4 extra games potentially, even with, if you gave the teams the bowls like Barry, you're still getting to play so many more bowl games with the conference championship games, with multiple playoff games. I kind of last year I pushed back against Genty pushing the record because I was like, man, he's got an opportunity if he can catch him in 11, like if he can get there and do the same thing in the regular season. But I think it's good for the debate of college football fans.
I think we should fold all the old bowl results in.
Yeah.
And then just go for it from there.
Okay. I mean, like the record can change, but you could still have more respect for the previous record based on games played. Like nobody's forcing you to admit that the guy's better. It's just the record. It's a number. It doesn't mean that much. It's fun.
What about the way that players are measured against each other within a single season? Because if it is individual statistics, 22.8% of Will Howard's season-long touchdowns came in the playoff run.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I do think the Heisman does. Some people have said the Heisman should come after the season. That's where I like it where it is. Even though you do get the conference championship game, like at least we do the most prestigious award the way it should be. Because if you waited after, it would just be an MVP of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we folded in. We still count them. And I guess that, as I say, this football being the ultimate team sport, unless you are a safety for the worst team in the Big Ten, padding your stats with tackles. In general, it comes with team success, right? So if your team has success, if you go deeper in the playoffs, you get more opportunities to add the yards and the touchdowns. Interesting. All right. Y'all might have sold me. I think I came into this saying that we should not be counting the postseason stats, but I don't feel strongly enough to fight about that one. I can rock with that. Yeah, that's right. And AR says, Will the Thrill was a stud. I think Will Howard's performance in the college football playoff, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, was definitely something worth celebrating, as he did finish the season 4th in the country with 35 touchdown passes on the year. All right. Well, I hope you guys are ready for the first game week. Are you?
You mean Premier League? It starts tomorrow.
Been working on locks.
Wait, hold on. What does Serie A doesn't start till next week?
No, I think that starts this weekend too, doesn't it?
Serie A?
Yeah, pretty sure. I know Premier League starts tomorrow, but Serie A might start on.
I think we start week 0 is when we've got Fiorentina Cagliari.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Come on, Forza Viola. Let's go.
La Liga starts. Yeah, Coppa Italia this weekend, Chip. I know you'll be watching.
Yeah, early rounds. All right.
Paramount Plus.
We have next week our last round of win totals. Big Ten win totals part 1 on Monday. Big Ten win totals part 2 on Wednesday. Tuesday is our show on CBS Sports Network. Hang out, watch it, 12 p.m. Eastern time. If you miss it, you can catch it in the podcast feed or on youtube.com/cover3. A lot of you all have gone over there to check it out, and we do appreciate it. A great way, if you aren't able to catch us live, to always be able to see what we are putting right there on the mothership, CBS Sports Network. Then on Thursday, as I mentioned, it'll be the first locks of the 2025 season. We'll give you our win totals locks, our very best bets from the win totals series, and more, plus our week 0 locks for Farmageddon, Stanford, Hawaii, Kansas, Fresno State. What do we got? Like a Sam Houston, Western Kentucky, I think, also on that slate as well. So we will have everything that you need to know. First locks of the season coming up next Thursday. Come get these locks. And you can follow him on Twitter at Tom Fornelli. You can follow him at Bud Elliott 3. You can follow him at Danny Kanell. Follow me at Chip _Patterson. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.